Hello, welcome to this special edition of Focus Washington. I'm Brad Klapper, and I'm here with the fascinating Dr. Julian Kulski, hero of the World War II resistance, a renowned architect, and a passionate advocate of Polish-American relations. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I wanted to ask you, as someone who has seen the trajectory of U.S.-Polish relations for decades now, how do you see ties today between these two countries, these two allies?
Well, the relations have always been good, historically, and they're good now, but they can be much better still. We have a new government in the U.S. and we have a new government in Poland, and they're both finding their feet.
There is a lot of controversy at the moment with some of the directions that the new Polish government has taken, particularly as they pertain to independence of media, independence of judiciary, controversial new Holocaust law that has been introduced. Do you feel that the Polish government is being accurately depicted in its descriptions in Western and American press, or do you think that some of these new measures by the government are being lost in context?
Well, like the present government in the United States, Hungary and Poland are not presented well by the European Union, and there's a constant problem. The government in Poland now is very democratic, and it is interested in Polish history and in reviving, taking care of, finally, Poland has enough funds to pay for the renewal of cemeteries, Jewish cemeteries, Polish cemeteries, Christian cemeteries, so that a lot of the criticism is completely unjustified. It's just a question of different viewpoint, like here, the left and the right, the same as happens in Europe.
You have a fascinating history yourself. You are a descendant of a former chief rabbi of Poland, as well as a former king of Poland. Your father was a Protestant and deputy mayor of Warsaw. So you have kind of the totality of Polish history in some ways. Do you have concerns that Poland is regressing in its democratic commitment, or do you think that we're missing something in the
Not
story?
at all. I think it's just the opposite. You know, my own experiences of 5 years of German occupation, I was involved with the resistance in the Jewish ghetto and outside of the Jewish ghetto. And I have seen what the Polish government was doing. And right now, politics in America and Israel is using and changing history. And for example, I'll give you an example. The claim is that 200,000 Christian Poles handed over their brothers, Jewish Poles, to the Gestapo. There's a little known fact that when the Germans entered East Europe, in particular Poland, they offered this German citizenship to the Poles, so-called Volksdeutsche. They were Polish citizens, but they were traitors. There were 125,000 of them in the general government, occupied Poland, and 2.5 million in the part which was incorporated. And I think that when you place yourself in the ghetto and don't get any help, and then you see in little towns and in big cities and in Warsaw, they were considered by Polish Jews to be Christians. They were. They didn't know they were traitors. Polish government in exile and passed laws during the war, passing a death sentence upon anyone who handed over a Polish Jew to the Gestapo. I was in the commandos. We were executing the orders of the court system. I myself, I killed a number of Volksdeutsch. And so it's really upsetting to me to see the history being rewritten for political reasons.
Who do you think gains from trying to divide Poland from the United States?
It has always been Russia. It started with Catherine the Great. She wrote a marvelous paper on how to divide Poles. And since Poland was occupied for 125 years by Russia, they were able to do that very good job. And then after 5 years of German occupation, we had 40 years of Russian occupation. And they're still succeeding at it because by weakening Poland, they will have less trouble getting to the Western Europe.
If there's one way to improve U.S.-Polish relations now, what would you counsel?
Well, I would say spreading truth about those years, which are so sensitive right now on both sides, and facts to me are the answer. And I have recommended that there should be a joint Israeli-Polish historical commission finding facts, how many criminals there were, and how many good Samaritans who saved the lives of children, babies. I mean, I know of an individual who smuggled Jewish babies out of the ghetto in a carton as soon as it was born, and putting it on the streetcar, and it was picked up by the underground, and she kept the names of the mother. So after the war, she was able to let the survivors know the true family Christian first name. And that's a few hundred that she was able to do. There's the zookeeper's wife, the Schindler's List, and there's my father with the Warsaw City Hall, who saved thousands.
Thank you for being here today. I think we hope for the sake of everyone that the United States and Poland find the best possible way to express their alliance, because I think a lot counts on that.
Well, up till the present time, the relations between Israel and Poland were excellent. They were better than ever before. And it's unfortunate that this law was published without a forum, like public relations forum, which would notify the government before they pass a law that it might be controversial, and what the results would be.
Well, there's work to be done. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
I have here a copy of Dr. Julian Kulski's book, The Color of Courage, which talks about his entire life story as he survived World War II, fighting in the resistance, captured by the Nazis, but lived to this day to tell his tale. Thank you very much.
Actually, it's my diary as a child.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kulski. This has been Focus Washington.